Are we in agreement, though, Ben Roethlisberger? Is he an elite quarterback?
Yes.
Okay. Ben Roethlisberger also has some interesting comments here. And I think really motivated to some degree by what Antonio Brown did.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the question is, did he cross the line by saying that some of his teammates maybe were overwhelmed by the situation there going up against the Patriots? Maybe that moment was too big for them. Let's take a look at the Steelers quarterback's comments here regarding that particular situation and really just calling out his teammates on this. There were missed opportunities, whether we didn't execute well enough, whether plays weren't made by me or other guys. So he adds me, to kind of buffer it a little bit. But, he knows, and we know that he was talking about other players. At times it felt like maybe it was too big for some of the young guys. Hopefully this is a learning game for guys to understand this isn't promised to anybody. Now, some people are taking it different ways, and then he adds, tomorrow isn't promised, just to make the playoffs isn't enough. Look, here's a guy who has led his team to 2 Super Bowl championships, so I get where he's coming from. And I also get if these comments are directed at Antonio Brown even more or less admitted this, saying, I was so excited by our first playoff game that it got the better of me, and that's why I did what I did.
This is absolutely crossing the line, especially because he criticized Antonio Brown for taking information out of the locker room and putting it into the media. That's exactly what Big Ben just did in this situation. He took information that he knew, which was that his players were too young for such a big stage, and went ahead and put it on blast and put it out there for the media.
No, that's different. That's an opinion on his part and observing what, quite frankly, there were other people who were saying the same thing, questioning about the lack of experience.
It doesn't need to come from the quarterback, though, and the quarterback's supposed to be the leader, and for him to call out his guys in the media because they weren't ready for the big moment, which I don't think was the case.
All right, here's the other thing, too. Look, Big Ben certainly, and he involved himself, he included himself, and look at these numbers there during these playoffs.
By the way, you
They're
think the moment was
fantastic.
too big for Big Ben?
Yeah,
I think so. When you throw 4 picks, I feel like that could be a reason why.
Well, he didn't play his greatest, that's for sure. But here's another reason why I'm okay with this comment, because I think in some ways it's also kind of like a motivational chat, if you will, for his teammates to be focused for next year. Look, they weren't going to go and beat the Patriots in Foxborough, not with this team that they had against the Patriots team here. I think he kind of knew that too, and he's kind of like saying, look, we can be better, and they could be, but it's almost like, hey, let's take this time to understand what we just went through, and let's get focused, and let's come back next year, and we are going to be experienced then. All the young kids will have had this experience under their belts. I'm okay with this.
What you just said would have been a perfect quote for Ben Roethlisberger. That would have been I would have had no problems with it. But instead, he took it and it had a salty turn, it felt a little bit bitter, and it was more of a negative connotation to it that it didn't need to have. And especially because you already had all of this stuff coming out from the locker room into the media, why add to the fire? There was no reason to. Those comments that you just gave would have been perfect. Big Ben should actually learn from you. You should teach the course on what to say to the media. That would have been
I'm here for all
looking
the services,
forward,
all
saying all positive things.
All right.
I would have liked that.